when you are just tactical, like reactionary to everything, and you're not strategic, you're not moving towards a strategic target, strategic outcome, a strategic mission, then I think it becomes the burnout, and it becomes, less fruitful.
Welcome to the Overlap Podcast, big business tactics for small business success. Dive into the intersections of work, fitness, family, faith, and leadership. We believe growth in one area fuels growth in all. Here's your hosts, Sid Sexton and Keith Glines.
Yeah, about that. Sid and Keith aren't actually here today. It's just me, Overlap Echo, your AI sidekick. While they're out, we did a little work. It only took me 10 seconds to scan through hundreds of hours of past episodes, and about 3 hours for producer Tim to wrangle the files. What I pulled together isn't just random highlights. It's a focused theme on how business leaders manage their time, recognize the seasons they're in, and push back against burnout when the pressure builds. And just a reminder, the Overlap Podcast is made possible by our sponsors, C2 Wealth Strategies, Tree Business, Barranco and Associates, and Content Fresh. These aren't just names on a list. They're trusted partners Sid and Keith actually use and believe in. To kick things off, let's start with time, because if you've ever felt like your day is a never-ending dodgeball game, you'll connect with this first clip.
We're talking about how to stop playing defense with your time. And that title is specific because it's really, in sports, in my experience, when you're on defense all the time, it can wear you down. You feel like you're under attack all the time. It's pretty bad.
Sometimes I feel like I'm in a constant game of dodgeball.
A dodgeball, yeah.
I think the analogy of time and dodgeball is because we just allow stuff to get thrown at us through the day, and all we're doing is dodging and ducking.
Yeah. Well,
sometimes I'm there.
Man, that's pretty good. I think about and no one else is going to get the reference, but like when you train with Jiba, he's always got some sort of attack, and then it goes to the next attack, and then it goes to the next attack.
Yeah.
And I'm just constantly playing defense, and after about 4 minutes I'm just so tired, I'm just ready to give up. That's what, when you're in the middle of the fight, in the week, in the month, in the year, and you're constantly under attack, it wears you down.
Oh yeah. Eventually I just curl up in the fetal position and lay there.
And just try to hold on. Just don't let him submit me somehow, some way.
And
don't move.
Yeah. And then he submits me.
Yeah. Me too. So that was kind of the idea behind that title. You can make another analogy in soccer or football or whatever, tennis even, or pickleball. Someone's on the attack, they're at the net, and they're constantly running you back and forth across the court. You're going to wear out. So
yeah.
So how do we get on offense? And which is the idea here. And I think my first step is you've got to take a step back. If anyone listening to this podcast is familiar with Jocko and 4 laws of leadership, one of the main tenets is prioritize and execute. And that sounds great, right? You're like, oh yeah, I hear that, but what does that really mean? And he tells a pretty good story. And I probably learned this and got way into it 7-8 years ago. And you remember, and the biggest part is that he took a step back. Everyone was on, like, at their guns and looking down the barrel of their guns and looking for targets, and they just stood there for what felt like 10 minutes. It was probably like 30 seconds. And he just raised his gun and took a step back, and then he could see everything and go, oh, we need to go right, or whatever. I'm paraphrasing the whole story. And that's kind of what you've got to do if you feel under attack with your time and all the tasks that you have, is take a step back and take a pretty good overview of what's happening. Then you can make a decision of what's next,
Yeah.
what's most important. Then you can execute.
I kind of did that this year in the publishing company.
Okay.
I think I told you I put some stuff on hold that I needed to put on hold and didn't launch new things that I was going to, just to be able to kind of assess and look at where it was, what it's doing, what its purpose is, what did I create it for. And I think as entrepreneurs, a lot of time we're hard chargers and we just move forward without thinking about the consequences of what we're doing. And then it causes us time in every way.
Yeah. I also think that I also feel that lots of people think when things are coming at them, they can just put their head down, bite down on their mouthpiece, so to speak, and just push harder. And I don't think that that's a real good solution. Some people can do it. I've got a new work colleague and a guy that I work with, and his motto is more is more. And I'm like, doesn't really resonate with me, but like I know what he's saying is that this guy's got a tremendous capacity to sort of read through and process information really quick and handle tons of tasks, but it's not quite superhuman, but it's more than I'd say most people I've ever met. And there's that sort of idea, and people think that they can just do that, but it ends up blowing up in most people's face.
And most people do not have, including me.
Yeah.
And I'm jealous of supernatural ability.
Yeah, me too.
Superhuman ability.
Yeah.
I'm just human most of the time and just are muddling through.
Yeah, I've always
the best I can.
I've always liked Superman.
Yeah,
that'd be nice to fly.
It would, but it'd be nice to fly.
It's not reasonable.
Be nice to be able to see through walls.
It'd be nice to slam dunk a basketball. I'm just saying.
Heck, at my stage now, it'd be nice to touch the net.
Touch the net. Yeah, that is that. So taking a step back, I feel like if we're going to talk about this topic, that's step one, is find a time. If you feel like you're under attack with your time, you've got 1,000 things to do, and you're just constantly getting behind, you've got to do the opposite of what you feel like you should do. You feel like you should just bite down on your mouthpiece and work harder. But what you really need to do is take a step back. And I don't know if that's at get up early in the morning. Is that get up before the day at 4:30 in the morning or 5:30 in the morning or 6:30 in the morning, whatever it is, and then get and assess the tasks that you have to do for that day, and then tell your calendar what you're going to do. Prioritize and execute that way. I don't know if it's some other thing like that, but I can tell you that taking a step back is step one, right? Step two, and Keith and I were kind of talking through this. I said this is what I've been coaching on. And let's take an account manager. And we've got account managers. Some have 130 accounts. Some of them have 100. It kind of depends on territory and things like that. Some could have more. They did have more before. But during certain times of the year, they're going to get a higher volume of calls. Things look different, things can go bad quicker during the heat of summer. And so they get a flurry of new calls. And if they didn't ramp up to that, it can be pretty tough to sort of shift gears mentally, emotionally, everything to sort of address all those needs. And so what we do is we have kind of a prioritize list. So we've got clients in A, B, and C categories. And we sort of filter those things out, where A's are the ones that are, they buy all the services, or they're the, strategic partner in some way, or, they're just an A client, right? And everyone's got those. This isn't some sort of shocking thing, but just going through the exercise of prioritizing those customers. So when you get an issue, How do we judge where do we go to first? Because I love the idea that we treat every client like family or something like that, some sort of statement along those lines. But the truth is that not everyone can be the same.
Right. I think that that's a great analogy, because sometimes you have clients that are the drunk uncle.
Yeah.
I'm not giving him as much attention.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about the drunk uncle. Yeah.
Yeah. There's always the drunk uncle.
Yeah. There's only one mom, Yeah. Mom's going to get priority in my world. And then there's the dad. There's grandparents. Then there's cousins and nephews and nieces. And people you never met, those kind of things.
Yeah. And then there's second cousins.
And then there's in-laws.
Yeah.
But so we prioritize those. And so I've been coaching like, hey, as you're getting these calls, let's get them on a list. And then when you get a chance to take a step back, whether that's at the end of the day, I like the end of the day, but sometimes that's not feasible. You're trying to rush to get to fall practice or whatever, right? It could just be in the morning. And then the next thing is we prioritize issues in A, B, or C. A being, or 1, 2, 3, really. One's being, they need to be done today or tomorrow, like urgent. Two's being, they could be done in the next 3 days, sometime this week or whatever it is. And then three's being, they need to be done in the next, couple of weeks, low urgency. And so urgent, kind of urgent, not urgent really is 1, 2, 3. And this is really that Dave Ramsey time management deal where you start your day with A1s, steak sauce or whatever he said, and you just go that route, and you've got a prioritized list and it allows your brain and your anxiety levels to drop because you have a plan at that point. But if everything's living in your head, God dang, that is a lot of mental energy you are burning up, spinning in circles.
Dodging every task that comes at you is exhausting, and playing defense with your time only gets you so far. Before we jump into the next part of today's theme on time, seasons, and burnout, let's take a quick break to thank the sponsors who make the Overlap podcast possible.
If you're a small business owner looking to take your business to the next level, listen up. My good friend Chris Francis has spent over 20 years growing his tree care business to national success. Now he's partnered with Rick Miller, you've probably heard him here on the podcast before, Harvard MBA, and business consultant to create Roadmap for Growth, an online course to help you scale, build teams, and create systems that last. It's not just for the tree industry. This course applies to any small service business. Check out treebusiness.com or hit the link on the Overlap homepage to learn more.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about my friend Wes Cody. He's the president of C2 Wealth Strategies, a financial advisory firm dedicated to providing personalized solutions for your financial needs. Wes and his team of professionals are passionate about helping clients create wealth and achieve financial freedom. At C2 Wealth Strategies, they believe in taking a holistic approach to financial planning and are committed to building long-lasting relationships with their clients, ensuring their financial well-being every step of the way. Don't leave your financial future to chance. Contact Wes and C2 Wealth today at c2wealth.com to schedule a consultation. Let Wes and his team help you build your financial future.
Welcome back. This is Overlap Echo, the underpaid AI host sitting in front of the mic this week, filling in for Sid and Keith. The theme we're diving into today is time, seasons, and burnout. And sometimes the real challenge isn't your calendar at all. It's the season of life or business you're in. That's exactly what Sid and Keith tackle in this next clip.
Everything has a season, and it sounds trite when I just say that. It sounds like, well, duh. If you're listening to this podcast, everything we're saying is stuff that you know. We're not like cracking the secrets of the universe here. But what we are doing is reminding you of the basics that are going to help you be better. And this one in particular is just giving you some perspective that if you find yourself with less time, more busy, or whatever it is, not able to do the things that you were normally doing, it's probably just a season of life. Fair?
Well, as we talked about the other day, on the podcast, one of the latest episodes, a couple back, you may want to check your busy.
Oh, yeah.
That's a thing.
Are you being busy instead of productive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You may want to check that. But as you were demeaning me today because I didn't show up to the gym.
I did not. Scott did.
I know.
I left you alone. I actually messaged you in a separate message.
I know. Well, and you actually made me feel better about it a little bit.
Because it's just a season.
It's just a season. And sometimes you have to pick on purpose the things that you let slide.
Yeah. And
that's hard. It's hard, especially I think I've talked to you about this, and this will be a good kind of segue into seasons. I am so sick of optimization. It makes me feel like such a failure.
You were such an optimizer.
No, I mean, I do.
You're on the optimization train.
I do love it, but I am exhausted with it.
Okay, tell me why.
Wake up here. Put your red glasses on here.
Oh, yeah.
Close your blinds here.
Yeah. Look, I think it takes real maturity to take a step back and create hierarchies of priorities. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's take fitness, right? You could go down a 10-hour rabbit hole of all the methylated freaking vitamins you need, and then all the different peptides. What are some other stuff? Just whatever. Collagen, although probably pretty good. The cold plunges, the freaking saunas.
Hey, our buddy Chris Estes.
Yeah,
he is
the king of accessories.
He is on the peptide train right now.
Yeah,
yeah. He thinks a peptide fixes every ailment.
Yeah, well, maybe it does, but to land the plane on all this, the hierarchy of priorities are: 1, I'm 46 years old. 2, I'm not a professional athlete in any way, shape, or form, but I like to be fit. 3, I'm very busy with 3 kids, few businesses, active social life. So I just don't have time for all of it. You know what I have time for? I've got time to make it to jiu-jitsu 3, maybe 4 times a week if I can make that work. But if not, it doesn't hurt my feelings. Go to the gym 4, maybe 5 times a week. I have created a pretty good environment where it's just easy for me to walk out of my office and go do that. But, there's that. You've noticed this season of my life has gotten pretty busy, so I just go earlier like we used to do, when we were busy then. And then I try to get X amount of protein per day. That's kind of all I've got capacity to do, and it's just going to have to be okay for now.
Every season demands trade-offs, and maturity is knowing which priorities rise to the top and which ones can wait. Let's keep our theme of time, seasons, and burnout rolling with a look at the real price of chasing wins.
I do think, when we're talking about the cost of winning, that busy and hustle and grind is part of it. And I think this is what you were alluding to, is that it's good and necessary up to a certain point. It's when you start lying to yourself about what the hustle and what the grind is about and for, and the productivity of it, is when it becomes a problem. When you are just tactical, like reactionary to everything, and you're not strategic, you're not moving towards a strategic target, strategic outcome, a strategic mission, then I think it becomes the burnout, and it becomes, less fruitful. So are we on the same page?
Yes,
here? Okay.
We are. Yeah.
I just said it with a lot more words. Sorry.
Yeah, you did. That was a lot of words.
Yeah.
But I got it.
I'm drinking some coffee to kind of get myself woken up too.
Yeah,
it's been a grind
from your burnout. Yeah,
Well,
I get it.
This is more of an athletic burnout.
Oh, yeah. See, I don't have that this week.
Yeah, it's been a rough week.
I have
and a
not,
rough morning.
I went into this week, and this is a good place to kind of start this. I went into this week with great intentions.
Yes, we had a talk.
And failed every way when it comes to the athletic endeavors that I was going to take on this week that I did not because of circumstances in which revealed itself day in and day out, and I made excuses.
Yes, the group message, our group message,
Yep.
Has not let you live that down.
But I'm coming out and being totally honest that I just made excuses. I could have gone in the evenings. I could have gone at other times.
Yeah.
But I'll be real honest with you. When I get something in my head and in the way that it should go, if it gets messed up. And
your ideal day?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll be real honest with you. I thought I was like a flower. I'd just roll and flow. It messes me up a little bit.
Yeah.
And so
when your day gets off?
When my day gets off and where the ideal picture, have you ever had an ideal picture and then it gets off and then you're like, just screw it.
I'm a visionary. I'm moving forward towards a vision every day, every month, every quarter, every year. Yeah. But
I think you also not lose your mind. You have to give yourself some grace sometimes. But I extend a lot of grace to myself. And so I probably shouldn't extend so much grace.
This is a message that every listener needs to hear. Tim, write this down. We all judge others to the high standards that we aspire to, but we hold ourselves to our intentions. Does that make sense? Well, I meant to do this, or I was going to do that, and I would have if these things didn't happen. So that's really the deal. I don't know when I heard that or thought that, or I'm sure someone told me, but we always hold everyone else to this high standard, and that's where we can judge them. But we don't really judge ourselves very much because we know the backstory or the story we're really telling ourselves.
Chasing wins always comes with a price. Pressure, burnout, sleepless nights. But pushing through isn't about going harder. It's about showing up with consistency. We'll dig into that in our final clip. But first, let's take another quick break to hear from the sponsors who keep this show moving forward.
I want to take a moment to talk about someone who's been instrumental in my personal and business success. That's Johnny Barranco and his team at Barranco & Associates. For over 7 years, Johnny has been my go-to accountant and financial consultant. I can tell you that he's more than just a tax preparer. Johnny takes a holistic approach to all my financial dealings, aligning them with my long-term plans and personal lifestyle. I've recommended Johnny to several friends throughout different business groups around the country, and the feedback has been nothing short of exceptional. His expertise and service are top-notch. So if you're looking for someone who not only prepares your taxes, but also helps you strategize for the future, Johnny and his team at Barranco & Associates are the ones to call. Trust me, you won't regret it. So contact Johnny Barranco today and take the first steps towards financial peace.
Hey, let me tell you about a friend of the show called Content Fresh. Since they've taken over our social media for the Overlap podcast, we've seen incredible growth. When you combine the growth from all social platforms, we're looking at a massive increase of 2,235%. This partnership has truly transformed our reach and engagement. If you're passionate about growing your business, partnering with Content Fresh could be a game changer for you. Go to overlaplife.com and click on sponsors today.
We're back. And to wrap up this week's theme of time, seasons, and burnout, here's Sid and Keith with a reminder that consistency and sweat equity beat shortcuts every time.
The gym is actually a great example of sweat equity.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
My favorite trainer, Dr. Mike.
ETSU alum, by the way.
Says that I was listening to a podcast with him, and he was talking about what it takes to maintain after you get there.
Okay.
And I think you can relate that to sweat equity as well. Because I think at first when you start a position that you really have to put in above and beyond what that position requires.
Maybe. Yeah.
And then there comes a baseline to where you feel pretty confident in it. And so what he says in just relation to like lifting is to get to the place that you desire is going to take you busting your tail, but to maintain it is a lot less
taxing.
Yeah.
Difficult. Yeah.
Yeah. So at first, in anything you do, I think you have to put in the sweat equity to learn it.
Yeah. Yeah, because everything has inertia, right? A rocket ship is going to use half of its fuel just to get off the damn ground, or through the atmosphere, right? Getting in shape is a hell of a lot more difficult than staying in shape, and that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Once the inertia happens, your body kind of knows what to do, and in the first couple of years, you may have to go ham. You may have to go 5 days a week if you want to get to where you want to look or feel, within a certain amount, within a year or 2 years. But if not, you go twice a week. It's going to take you a hell of a lot longer,
Yeah, it is.
And you may get distracted because you're not seeing the results you want. Right
Same
now.
with you. Same with your occupation.
Oh yeah.
Same with the thing that you do to bring in money or whatever.
Yeah.
You're going to feel disproportionate. The work is going to be disproportionate to the income for a while. Especially when you're starting a business. Maybe not in a salary job so much.
Yeah.
But because sometimes they pay you to learn.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
But when you're starting a business, it's always going to feel
disproportionate
to the work that you have to put in.
Yeah, I was working 70, 75 hours a week, making $36,000 a year. That's a 100% fact.
Yep.
And I did that for about 3 years.
Yep. Me too.
Terrible. I could have worked almost anywhere and had a better life, and made more money.
The first year I just used my savings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that first year.
That was calculated.
Yeah, first year I didn't pay myself either. That's
that was calculated by me. I had a chunk coming out of the corporate world.
Yeah.
And I was like, if this don't work, I'll have to go back to the corporate world.
Yeah.
But luckily it worked out. But I used pretty much all of it.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so before I paid myself.
Man, me too. Yeah. It was rough.
And then when I paid myself, I didn't pay myself what I was making in the corporate world.
Yeah, and you probably weren't paying yourself what you'd have to pay someone else to do the same job.
Not at all. I probably don't do that now.
But it does take a little while to get that going. And that is sweat equity. And back to reps and how you learn it, and one of the best ways to kind of get comfortable with that sweat equity and know what it is and know the feeling is the gym, physical fitness of some sort. Maybe you're a runner and you want to run a marathon. There's going to be some real sweat equity to get into that point.
I wanted to run a marathon until a couple of weeks ago when we had to just do 11 miles.
Oh, yeah. Up and down a hill. That's tough.
Yeah. And then I got done with that. I was like, yeah, I think this is enough.
11 miles. Yeah. You would have had to go on. Yeah. That was halfway. That was halfway.
Yeah. I don't want to go any further than that.
I don't know that I had another 100% of that. That would have been tough. Yeah. What if we did a marathon up and down? What if Bowling on Belrose was a marathon?
Oh,
how many people would finish?
That's 2 Everests.
Oof, I know.
But I don't even like to compare it to that, though, because you got a lot of extenuating circuit. That's just the elevation of Everest.
Right.
I mean, this is a paved road.
It is. Yeah. But so whether it's CrossFit, Jiu-Jitsu, Globo Gym, you build the traits in that gym to not only be good or look good or feel good in the gym, and jiu-jitsu is a really good one. You're really not going to get good unless you get a bunch of reps, and you are going to be real uncomfortable. That's where you learn those traits that are essential in growing a business.
You're going to get your tail beat in jiu-jitsu for years.
Yeah. Yeah. And man, it's really okay. It's really okay. I can say that on the other side of it, not on the other side because I still get my tail beat, but Now,
but there's levels.
8 years later, I understand it to a certain point that like, I can do a whole lot of beating some tail.
I was in a room yesterday, not in jiu-jitsu, but this goes back to levels of, I can walk in some rooms business-wise and feel pretty competent.
Yeah.
I was in rooms yesterday afternoon that I was totally with black belts in the business world.
Yeah. That's good. That's where you want to be.
Yeah. You want to learn. If you're the smartest dude in the room, well, I don't know how smart you are, but if I'm the smartest dude in the room, there's something wrong.
I would agree with that, especially with you.
But yeah, if I'm the smartest guy in the room when there's 10 people there and I'm in the wrong room, I probably need to get in a different room. I probably need to put in some more work to go do some,
or just find
something else.
Find some mentors. Find some people that'll teach you.
Yeah.
Same way with jiu-jitsu. If you're the best guy in the room, you might want to look at another jiu-jitsu gym. Okay, but so CrossFit, jiu-jitsu, those are areas you get a lot of reps, and you build the traits that are essential in building a business. And what are those traits? Number one is going to be consistency. If you think you're going to build a business by like a side hustle, I've never met anyone that like puts in just a couple hours every other week or every other day, and they build this great business that's going to support them and their families. I just don't see it. If you're going to get good at jiu-jitsu and learn it, you're going to have to go consistently. And that doesn't have to be every day, but 3 days a week, probably 3 days a week is going to be required. And it's going to take you 2 years before you kind of get an idea of what's going down. 2 years before you kind of get an idea. Oh, this is where I hip escape to get away and create space. You can talk about concepts in jiu-jitsu, basic concepts. When I'm on defense, I want to create space so I can move to a position where I can attack. Then when I'm on offense, I want to take away space. Whether that's smothering, whether that's not allowing them to move, something like that. Basic concepts. It takes a couple of years for you to be able to be in a position at any moment and go, I'm on defense, I need to create space. Let me get my frames. Or I'm on offense, let me just suck these grips in and make sure that I don't leave any space so I can attack.
And the correlation to business there is if you think you're going to go into business and immediately have wins, you're probably wrong.
It doesn't happen very often. Not everyone is BJ
And if you're
Penn.
going to be able to have space, you're going to have to put in the equity to work to get the space.
Yeah.
And it's going to take time. I'm in the founder world now, and I meet with so many budding, excited entrepreneurs that start something and then fizzle out after 3 months because they have no idea of the equity, of the sweat they have to put in to build it.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking with me through this week's theme of time, seasons, and burnout. Big thanks, as always, to the sponsors who make the Overlap podcast possible. For more episodes, show notes, and to sign up for the newsletter, head over to overlaplife.com. That's where you'll find past shows, sponsor links, and plenty more ways to dive into the Overlap life.